So I literally recorded this, and then I don't know, I guess the audio did not save, which is so frustrating, but whatever. So I just want to talk for a second about indifference. So you might be thinking, like, what is indifference? So indifference is this state of, like, not really feeling pro or anti what's happening with someone else. Like, I try to, like, filter the news that I get to just watch, basically at this point, like, YouTubers, and I like my Google News to be centered around, like, fashion. I feel like it's been like that for a minute. Like, if you guys remember, most of the stuff that I posted during um my garden days, it was mostly about me being out and me really processing my feelings about all the things that were going on in my family. Now, the weird part about that is, like, there was this false sense of community where people had this idea of, like, narratives that they were getting from someone else. So, like, my mom has a really good way of, she's just not a smart person at all. She's, like, really stupid, but, like, also she just goes around, like, just saying shit to other people. Like blah 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 blah. And you'll be like, this is not, first of all, like, there's the inaccuracy part, right? It's like, you're not even telling the whole truth of the story. You're just, like, only telling the part that, like, makes yourself look and appear good. That's not even the point. You know, back then, I was at this place where that would make me angry. And then I had so much more therapy, just so much more therapy. And I realized that in my life, she's not a significant person and probably will never be again. And so it doesn't really matter, like, what she says or how she feels or what she doesn't say. It just doesn't matter. And the more and more I, like, remove myself from her story, from her life, then it's kind of like there is nothing else to say, right? There's no instance where it's like, oh yay, like, I did this positive thing. Like, the thing that's really strange about, like, my family specifically is, like, there's always good things that happen to me. Sometimes there's also, like, not so good things that happen to me, but, like, when the good things happen to me, everyone loves to be like, oh, my sister did this, oh, my daughter did that, oh, blah blah blah. As soon as, like, something challenging is happening with me, though, they're like, oh, Livy's got all these problems. Oh, Livy's the bag of problems. Oh, Livy's I'm such a problem. And, like, the truth is, like, for every single person, good and bad stuff is going to happen to you. And when you realize that there are people who don't give a shit about the bad stuff that happened to you and they only want to be present for the good stuff, those people don't give a shit about you. Those people don't really care about your life. And I think you should remove those people from your life. And there's very few things in life that you'll do that you can't be sorry for. But some things you will regret. Some things you will regret. But the thing about indifference that you will start to learn over time is that when you take the time to analyze your values, so you say, like, this thing is important to me and why. Like, for me, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are important to me. Why? Because when I have them, it just makes me feel, like, good and like I took care of myself for that particular day. That's why that's important to me. And actually as deep as it goes, but it does feel like for some reason there's like a whole squad of people who are just interested in taking that away from me, which is like very strange. Like, it's another reason why I just feel like, I don't know what I did to like make it so that another thing too that's so strange, like, I really used to be invested. There's so many things that I honestly used to care about. Like, I literally spent all of my adolescent years in art school because I really thought I wanted to be like a hip hop dancer. That was like my whole dream, and I can't describe to you the amount of this country murdered and shattered that dream for me. It's like sometimes you'll get rejection. And like there's like a normal amount of rejection that you'll get, and you'll just be like, "Oh, it's okay. I can like move on." No. I mean, I got rejection in ways of like I had way more talent than everyone else. I had prepared so much more than everyone else, and there's just no reason like there are people right now who are sitting on content that is mine, and they will not give it to me. They have like taken my videos off of the internet completely, blocked the media completely, like 100%, and they will not release it. And there's nothing that I can do about it. And that's a level of shady that I just couldn't even like. I could never imagine that there would be that people who are so hateful. And then even sometimes shit like that, it happens to you, and then you just stop caring because you invested so much into something that failed so hard. For me, that's how I feel about men, relationships, and motherhood. I'd put so much into that bag. I had cared so much. Like, I don't know if there's anyone who cared more than me. I'd really cared, and then I realized like it wasn't just one person who wanted to like take that away. I don't even know how you can take that away from someone, but in whatever way that you could do that, like, I really felt like this American society did everything in its power to like steal it and crush it and just demonize it and just fucking shit on it. And it just, you get to a point where you no longer care. And that's where I am. It's indifference. Like, I don't hold those values anymore. And the way that some people simply believe that they occupy this space in my mind, like, you are not on my mind. I saw something in the Google app that was like there was a shooting on a campus or something. I don't care. Like, there was someone on the Republican side who was talking about some cake shop girl got dragged by a car from a BLM I don't care. Like, I don't care at all. Like, 0%. The things that I care about, I wrote about. I cared about watching Rihanna's performance at Assembly Hall. It took me so much mental courage to like put on that outfit and walk down to Assembly Hall and sing and watch the show. It brought me so much fucking joy. And even then, like, you guys saw, there are people who couldn't even stand the fact that I'd gone outside. The looks that you get, just the sheer amount of microaggressions, just to listen to two old, ugly-ass white dudes just complain the whole show. Oh, I hate it. Oh, she's so awful. Shut the fuck up. Just let somebody have their 13 fucking minutes, all right? Like, they had 2 hours of, like, meaningless football that nobody fucking complained about. Everybody just, like, let it happen. We can't even get 13 fucking minutes without them, like, saying some shit. Like, just let people have their shit. We all don't care about the same things. Like, my values don't have to be yours. That's what I mean. Like, other people are just so invested in, like, them doing shit. Like, I don't even care. Like, I go to work to collect my money. That's it. Like, there's not some more to it. Okay, it is just a job. I used to have ambitions of having a career in this country. I don't have those ambitions anymore. Those ambitions are dead, 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 dead to me. There's no American institution that I believe in. There's nothing about living here that makes me feel comfortable or makes me feel like I am a part of the society. I feel like what I know is I know how to navigate the society, okay? Like, I know how to get things for myself. I know how to take care of myself because I'm completely autonomous. But I really don't give a shit at this point about what most other people are going through. Like, other people's suffering does not impact me. Other people's joy does not impact me. Other people's accomplishments don't make me happy. Like, for most people, I'm not cheering for you. I'm also not like your hater. Like, I'm not making hate content about you. Like, I used to do that, but I stopped. I told you guys how I felt about Chris Brown and how I was making the hate albums, but I just realized that it's just not, it's useful for me, right, to channel those feelings somewhere, because, like, if you have the feelings, like, I had to get down to the root of, like, why I had those feelings in the first place, and I realized it actually wasn't about him. It was about this archetype of guys who are like him, and we were kind of, like, quoting him, and it just felt way too close to home, and, like, rape and just all of these things that were so, so destructive for me, that it just made, like, the whole archetype of, like, guys like him. Like, I don't even date or talk to light-skinned guys at all anymore, period. Like, not even a little. Like, they're like completely invisible to me. Just, like, completely invisible. Like, I don't even know. We don't live in the same world at all. Like, if I saw one at a restaurant, I'd probably walk out, just leave. I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, I know that in the long term, it isn't like it's not healthy to, like, be out in society with, like, feelings like this. Like, this is not, it isn't sustainable to, like, have this much vitriol about a country in which you live. Like, but I swear, bro, like, I just have to, every day, I just have to, like, double down and, like, focus on myself, okay? And, like, when I do that and I get into my routine of, like, mostly focusing on my meals, like, focusing on my tasks, focusing on my interests, my feelings, yeah, I don't really notice the other people. I don't care what's going on with them, because it's just so much about me. It's all about me. The entire society is only about me and how I feel and how I'm experiencing it. And I want to make it the most comfortable for myself. And that's the indifferent part. It's like I'm literally not out to, like, how can you say it? Like, and being perfectly honest, I'm, like, not really out to even, like, socialize with other people at all. But, you know, you have to, because humanity. But, I mean, in reality, I'd rather just be with myself and have my things and have my schedule and never share. And I really love the fact that we have YouTube right now, because you can choose the people who you subscribe to based on their, like, you know, their looks and their personality. And you can just unsubscribe from all the ugly people. Like, that woman, I literally didn't want to edit, so I just held my hand up in front of her face so we don't have to look at her. I spared everyone. It's my good deed for today. Everyone should go out and do a good deed. And that's what I did. And I feel like, see, that's the thing I fucking hate about this. Like, she knew what she was doing. She knew that I was actively trying hard to get away from her, and still she just, like, inched closer. She stood, like, right in the camera view. There were this whole restaurant was, like, empty. She could have sat anywhere. Like, why are you sitting here? I don't understand. Like, and that's the thing too, like, where I feel like I wanted to talk about in this video, like, how you come to be indifferent. The indifference comes when you face almost like an insurmountable amount of rejection. Not like a normal amount. Like, a normal amount is like palatable, but then it becomes this point of, like, you for me, I've acknowledged the hate. You know, it's like all the shit that's, like, way abnormal, where you're like, oh, people are they're going, like, out of their way to exhibit abnormal behavior to make society worse for me. And it's not like one person who's doing it. It's like a collective group of a lot of people who are, like, all working together to, like, ensure that, like, I have a bad time, which is so strange because each day I'm not going out of my way to make them feel the same way. Like, each day I'm just going about my day to make sure I don't see them. Like, I'm literally trying to ensure that, like, I don't go to their restaurants, that I don't consume their content, that I don't buy their brands or eat their food, that like, in all the ways that are making their existence possible, that I stay away from them. Like, I actively try to do that to be, like, non-problematic. But it's exhausting. And so it's like, the other part of that is there would have to be this, like, mutual respect there, where people would understand that, like, I'm going above and beyond to make sure that, like, you have space over there where you don't have to interact with me. And I would expect the same amount of respect for you to just not interact with me in a way where you just, like, acknowledge that, like, I exist too over here, and, like, you exist over there, and we don't have any mutual things at all. Like, at all. Like, you don't have to have some bad story about me. Oh, she did this and that. Like, actually, no, I didn't. I didn't go out of my way to make your life worse. Like, your life is what it is.